All right, guys, welcome once again. It's another episode of Stock Market. Well, more like a look ahead in the market. So, the market just rejected good news. All right, the market just rejected good news. We had some data that just came out, and the market was not having it. None of the news that came out, which was supposed to be good news, unemployment looked great. Now, I was telling you guys, the the data to me seems a little funky. It seems like every single piece of data was exactly 1/10 better than expected. Every single thing, except the job numbers, which was exactly double, right? So when you look at that, I personally I did not believe it, and I wanted to see, well, what I believe it or not, it doesn't really matter, is whether or not Wall Street accepts it. And what we saw over the past week was Wall Street, the institutions did not actually believe those numbers because we should have seen a nice rally. Let me remind you guys, if the job market is strong, right? It's not. Go out there, talk to anybody that's looking for a job. They can't find anything. And if inflation is cooling, that means we have the perfect condition for a rate cut, but the market is not pricing in a rate cut. Instead, what we're seeing is the stock market is actually dropping. All right, so we're gonna get into it, guys. We're gonna see, look into the chart. If you are here, just a reminder to make sure you like this live. That helps me a lot when it comes to the algorithm. I appreciate you guys that shows up every single day. That's always here. Hey James, I see you, man. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you guys that keep showing me the love, keep showing up here. And my promise to you guys, as I've done since day one, is I will keep showing up. I will keep showing up, even if it's just one person that's here. I will be here, but I do appreciate you guys showing up, and by you guys liking and commenting and asking questions and making the live more engaging and more interactive. I'm seeing the number of views going up with those videos, even on replays, right? People that's not they maybe not be on the live, but they are watching it afterward. As well as seeing the increase in subscribers. I appreciate that. So if you're here, you're not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, smash the like button, and click the notification bell so that way whenever I go live or when I drop some new videos, you guys can get those videos as well. So before we dig into it, I want to remind you guys. Because I did get a strike from one of my videos recently. I guess I did not mention that enough. I did, but I got the strike. That's what it is. And nothing I say here is any suggestions for you guys to buy, hold, or sell any equities. What I'm doing here is strictly educational, and I'm just reading the chart and letting you guys know what I'm doing. Right. So whatever you're doing, make sure you do your own due diligence. Although what I do can teach you on how to analyze stocks, but do your own research. I am not your personal financial advisor, and trading can carry risk, including loss of capital. So if you don't know what you're doing, you don't trust your own research, make sure to contact a financial advisor. Now that's out the way, it's time to go. We have another great week coming up. The way we fluid, we trade like water over here. All right, guys, we're going to trade like water. It doesn't matter if the stock market goes up or if the stock market goes down. The goal is still the same. Is to get in, get some money, get out. This is why we do this. All right. I've told you guys over the past couple of weeks, really, this market was not a market for us to be buying long leaps or long dated calls and holding, right? And that I've been proven right with that because we are so far on all time high, and every single time we got to the high, as you guys are going to see in the charts, we just do not have the momentum to go. We just don't have the momentum to go right now. Whenever we get there, what it appears to be is institutions actually just de-risking. Maybe they were heading into a different sector, but especially when it comes to tech, oh my God, it's been bloody. It has been bloody. Anyway, guys, this is going to be a great week, regardless of what happened. And I hope you guys are ready for it and do every single thing that you need to do. All right, let's start off. and see what we have on the calendar. So tomorrow is President's Day, so that's a holiday. So we are off tomorrow for those of us who trade regularly. On Tuesday, we don't really have much on Tuesday. That's not something that's going to move the market much. Wednesday, I'm looking at what we have on Wednesday. Again, these are just noise. These are just noise, not really going to move the market. Now, on on Thursday, initial jobless claim always move the market, and U.S. trade deficit might move the market as well. Those two, and again, those will come out on Thursday at 8:30 a.m. If you trade options, just a reminder, if you trade options, you cannot trade options during those times. So if you don't like the volatility or when we have those news coming around, I would highly, you know what? Let me. I can't even suggest that. Let me, because I don't want to get another strike. But let's say if I could not stomach volatility, I would be out of the market before those times. All right. So but that's me. But you guys do what you think is best for your portfolio. On Thursday, on Friday is going to be another one. That's going to be a big day. Friday is going to be a big day. All right. So we have GDP numbers come out at 8:30. We are packed at 8:30. We have GDP numbers, personal income, personal spending, PCE index, core PCE. All of that is coming out, and then at 9:45 we're gonna have manufacturing PMI. So we have a lot of data coming out the exact same day. So be ready. This week is going to be bumpy. Whether we're going to go up or whether we're going to take and head back down, this is going to be a bumpy ride. All right. So enough of that, guys. Let's jump into the chart. This is what we do. This is what we like to do. Let's see what we are dealing with right now. And as a reminder, I must remind you guys once again, this is never going to change. It is still POP over here. And if you are new and you don't know what POP stands for, it is price over profit. This is what that stands for. No matter what, we follow our plan, we follow our process. If you are trading, make sure you have a process. That's the way I trade. I have a process and I follow that process. All right. Until that fails me, I will keep doing that. And then if you get to a point where the stock market at some point will blow up your process. All right, I mean more like not your process, but your trading strategy. So your trading strategy needs to fit into your process. All right. If at any point that needs to be modified and improved, you can't be too rigid. You do, but the process does not change. The trading strategy might be tweaked. Different trading strategies might be chosen, but the process does not change. Now, before I even get into anything, look at this MACD right now. Just take a look at that. This thing is pointing straight down with increased momentum. So that's what I'm saying, guys. And the option is the pricing a move of about $10 for this coming Wednesday. I mean Tuesday. It's a move of about $10. So we'll see if the market does give that. Hope for those of you guys who trade intraday, hopefully you can catch it at the top or at the bottom, whichever way you decide to go, and you can just ride out that wave. That would be great. So this is the weekly. You guys can see in the weekly how we actually broke down and actually closed below structure and below the trend line. We actually did this time. Good news, we actually still holding above the structure. So that is good news. But what I don't like about it is the sheer volume of the selling that we are seeing here. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. When I say institutions are pretty much dumping on retail traders, this is what that looks like. All right. Look at all these wicks. All these wicks. Every single time it got to this level, those guys are taking advantage. They are selling the rip. We ripped up, they selling it. Let me just go down on the daily so you guys could see exactly what's going on. So this right here is the daily time frame. This is the daily. And what exactly do we see here? Again, we rejected at this level. You guys can see that rejection at this level. We also reject right here. We reject right here. And look at that rejection. That was insane. That's intraday. It's a different thing when you just have a gap down like that because that means you just have some bad news that came out. And we had that rejection after good news. We had, I mean, great news really, not even good news. We had great news and the stock market rejected. Now, here comes the, not silver lining, but a bit of a case for the bulls because as of right now, the sellers are in control right now and the bulls need to defend. They need to defend this level. If not, we need to start saying hello to way down here. All right. So this is what we're looking at right now. We had this candle. That candle breaks below, and what we needed to feel more confident to see if the balls were back in place is either an inside candle, which would signify most likely we were going to go up, an inside candle, or more like a candle that closed more than 50% of this candle. And we did not get that. Unfortunately, we did not get that. So this got pushed down. Now, what's the best case scenario is a candle that comes and close above this range. So that would ending up giving us a morning star. And if we do get a morning star, then we might be able, maybe we'll get that squeeze, or maybe we'll just chop around a little bit. But if we cannot even take this level, we're in trouble because that signifies a bear flag. All right. What's a bear flag? If you, for those of you who do not know, if you are new here, excuse me, this is a bear flag. So that's your pole, and this would be the flag. And that typically resolve itself by dropping more. That's how bear flags typically work. All right. I mean, just try making a screen or disclaimer to play before you come on live. That's a good suggestion, James. I appreciate that. That is a good suggestion. I actually do have a screen. I just never put that on for whatever reason. It's actually part of my screen on my sources on OBS Studio. I just never put that on for whatever reason. I just keep mentioning that. But that's a good suggestion, and I do appreciate that because that will help a lot. That's the second time I think, excuse me, I received a strike for that. I mean, I contested them and they removed the strike, but when the video get taken down, it just get taken down. Anyway, just going in. If I go, let's go into 4 hours and see exactly what we are doing in the 4 hours right now. 4 hours telling us what? Bear flag. This is what the 4 hours telling us. Bear flag. Because see, we try to bounce and we can't. There's just no momentum. We just cannot. We try to push and we could not. Let's take a quick look and see what the MACD look like. The MACD actually just show you it is bearish. It just made a lower high, that's bearish divergence in the 4 hours. So that's what the MACD just did in the 4 hours. All right. So we know we are moving down, and look at that. You can see the momentum building. Momentum is building. So none of these things are good news. What seems more likely, what just happened here was a break of that structure and a retest right on that structure for us to keep running back down. All right, that's the 4 hours. This is the 2 hours looked even worse right now because you can see that the 2 hours look even worse. It almost seems like a bear flag was done and we're about to go break that flag. Let me take a look at the 30 minutes. The 30 minutes also not doing very well. Also not doing very well. So we're going to keep a watch on that, see if we can bounce. And what I really don't like about that is the fact that all of this is happening. All of this is happening while we had great news. We had news that should have made the market looks ridiculous. We should be at all-time high and one up right now, but we are not. And this is not something that's unusual. We've been seeing this since the earnings report. We've had some tech companies reporting really, really good numbers, and they still don't have the momentum to keep pushing. Some of them, a couple of them have really pushed up, right? A couple of them. But we've had companies that report great earnings and still could not move. They dropped. Microsoft reported great numbers, and Microsoft dropped. Google reported great numbers. Google dropped. You know what I mean? Like, so it's things like that. That's like, okay, it makes me feel like people are taking advantage of any bit of pop to sell into retail. As you guys could see, when we pushing up, right? Whenever we pushing up, what actually happens, you can see that the volume is lower. Every time we're pushing up, the volume is lower. But whenever we're pushing down, the volume is stupidly high. Okay, let me just take this off. I'm switching over to the SPY. I know most of you guys trade the SPY. I like to cover the S&P, the SPX. They both the S&P 500, but the SPY has the charts look a little different, right? Just the chart looks a little different because the SPY have a little bit more noise than the S&P 500. So if we're looking at here once again, we are badly, man. There's a fight going on right in there. There's a world fight going on trying to remain up, because if I'm being honest, when we actually remember when I was telling you guys, eventually we're going to completely fill this wedge, and either to break above or break below. We actually filled it, broke down, went up, retest, dropped, but guess what? Structure is here. So we popped on structure, came back here again, but we still cannot take that upward trend line. That's the top of the channel. We still cannot take it. Why is the path of least resistance? I keep telling you guys, path of least resistance. So the let's see, path of least resistance. The market likes to find a path of least resistance, meaning whenever. That's why you see when we at support, the higher probability is a bit of a pop, right? Whenever we add a strong resistance, the higher probability is a drop. All right, so that's typically how that happens. Oh my goodness. And if you're looking at this, as a matter of fact, the market is been giving us signals since here, and I've been calling them. And right now, if we have a drop that comes and took us down below here, no one can say they were caught off guard. You were warned more than 5 times to either hedge or get out. All right. So you were warned more than 5 times, either hedge or get out. So you got to do what you got to do. If you don't do anything about it, that's completely on you. If I let me go in on the 4 hours, the 4 hours showing us once again. I mean, those charts are going to be pretty much the same, but I just like to cover the SPX instead of the S&P instead of the SPY, SPY. But I know most of you guys trade the SPY. This is why I still cover the SPY. All right. And if you're looking at the after hours in the SPY, what exactly are we seeing? I don't like what I'm seeing one bit. If anyone sees it, so first of all, what are we seeing? That was the first first thing we can take a look at, is say, hey man, it seems like what we are doing here is what? That would be a head and shoulder pattern. It does not have to be a perfect head and shoulder pattern. All right. So if you look at that, you will say this is your left shoulder. Excuse me. All this here create the head, and right now we are making the right shoulder. And I do not like the fact that we're making that right shoulder so low. Meaning, if we break this level, that where we would need to break literally, if we go below 676. If we close below 676 and we don't reclaim that right away, we can really move down. We can get very ugly very quickly. Hold on. Okay, there you go. There you go. We actually do have some support level right here. This would be our next zone. You talking about 650? That's a 30-point drop. All right, that's a 30-point drop. So that would be very very painful. And if we break below this level, oh my, that if we break below this level, there's two ways to look at that, right? It will be painful for a lot of people. Empire Path, I see you. Thank you for being here again, as usual. Um, if we if we break below this level, that 653 level, and we come down to 609, some people will be in a lot of pain, and some people. I hope if you're with me, if you watch this live, I hope if something like that happens, you're not stressing, but instead you rubbing your hands together and say, you know what? I got an opportunity. Things are on sale. It's time for me to write this thing on back up. All right. So I hope that's the thinking. See, this is why I keep telling you guys: make sure you have some cash on the side, have some dry powder, have some cash on the side. That way, if that opportunity comes, you can take a bounce. So if we come here, this is my plan. Again, this is my very clearly. Now, I'm not gonna go into, what strike price. I trade options. What strike price or which stocks I'm going to trade. But if we come down to this level, I do plan on getting some stuff more than a year out. All right, and if we come down to that level, I plan on adding to them. Actually, let me correct that. If we come down to this level, I will get some stuff. If we break the level and we're wanting down, I will get out and wait. My stop loss will probably get hit, and I will wait to re-enter around that level, right there. All right. Again, if I let me put that on the weekly so you guys could see. This is why I keep telling you guys I am bullish overall, but I am cautiously bullish on the market. And to be honest, the market has been doing absolutely phenomenal given the circumstances. Why do I say phenomenal? You guys may not agree with me, but the reason I say that is once we get to this level, we should have already. Oh, let me put this back. We should have already crashed all the way back to come retest those levels, or at least a bit of a correction back to the middle line to continue that move up, and it's still holding. It is still holding. Let me see. How long did we stay in that for? Let me see. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was 9 weeks. This one gave us 9 weeks in there. This one, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're already there 16 weeks, and the stock market is still holding. All right, 16 weeks, and we are still holding. So that's we can get upset if we do get a drop that happens because the market has been very 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 gracious and keep giving us warnings on what to do. Once again, guys, let's go into the cues. Let's see what tech stock is on right now. The biggest problem is tech. Tech is our biggest problem because tech is dropping hard, and most importantly, it's the software stocks. All right. So for those of you guys who may not be following the developments around AI and quantum computing as much, so there's a company called Anthropic. They are not yet public, and Anthropic spells trouble for a lot of companies. So Goldman Sachs put some of the best employees to it. They test out Anthropic's new AI model called Claude 4, and what those guys concluded is based on what they saw or the way what Claude can do, almost 80 to 90% of white collar jobs will no longer be needed within the next 18 to 36 months. That's the time frame they put on it. because of what it does. So when it comes to AI software, right? Software sales. Like let's think about a company like CRM, so Salesforce, SAP, which other one? ServiceNow, like all those things that has databases or companies that just sells data and things like that. Claude does all of that. It can capture the data, it will create a dashboard for the data. It will sort through it. So technically, for a lot of companies, used to have the data. This one has it. Then you got another one that gives you a dashboard, so to translate this and do all that stuff. Claude does everything, including making calls, taking care of customer service. The Claude has AI chatbots that can make calls for you, answer clients' calls, and all of that stuff. So this is why tech is getting beat down. One of the reasons they're getting beat down so much because people just don't know how much is that going to affect the entire tech sector. All right. So I just wanted to give you guys this bit of news, just so you guys are prepared. And this is why it's so crucial that you learn some sort of skill or trade, something, whatever it is, so that way, if one day that they come, when they come and they call you in the office and say, hey, we no longer need your services, you can say, you know what, thank you very much, but I'll be all right. So anyway, let's take a look to see exactly what's happening, what happened, actually not happening, but actually what happened and what continued to happen with the Qs. All right, so we pop test all-time high, then we drop. Look at this drop. What did we do after we dropped? Well, like I told you guys, so we broke the trend line. We went back to the scene of the crime where we just broke the trend line, and now we are pushing back down. All right. So this is where we are right now. This is what we are dealing with. That is a major, major issue. Because if you're looking at that, the one bit of this is the best case scenario. All right, I'm gonna give you guys the best case scenario, although things don't look very good. So best case scenario is we do this. We do a double bottom and we push up. All right, but purely technically speaking, what we should expect, the higher probability was a break of the trend line, a retest of the trend line, or retracement back to the same level, test it, and we push back down. So the the higher probability trade right now is a waterfall for us to keep pushing down. That is the path of least resistance. But I do know tech has a couple. Tech has a couple of rounds in the still in the chamber. Nvidia earnings will be coming up. So, and whenever Nvidia reports, the whole market is going to react because that's a behemoth, right? So the whole market is going to react. So that's something we need to keep an eye on. Can we hold until Nvidia report and maybe to take us up? We don't know. If those CPI numbers on Friday either doesn't look good or not believable, just like those past numbers doesn't seem like they were believable by the market, we are in grave trouble. And you guys can see exactly what's happening here. If we go again to the there you go. See that even look even worse because this is exactly what we are looking at. We are just looking at a bear flag pattern, not bear flag. I made a head and shoulder pattern being formed. This is a classic head and shoulder pattern. All right, like these are the kind of things we do not need to see, and this is being formed at strong resistance level and with bearish divergence in the MACD. That's in the 4 hours. That's in the 4 hours. Go down in the 2 hours. How are we looking in the 2 hours? No difference. Same thing. Go in the 30 minutes. We are doing pretty much the same thing, right? That's a lower high, and all we're doing, once again, see, there you go. See right there. Look how vivid this look, right? Let me take my head and shoulder tool exactly to show you guys. You guys can see this. Boom, boom. This is the head, and right here we are having that. Okay. You guys can clearly see there's a head and shoulder pattern being formed right there. Right, it is clear as day. Or even if I wanna just have have that stand like that, I can do that, and you guys can see it. It's a perfect head and shoulder pattern. Left shoulder, head. Right now, right shoulder is being formed, and we are coursing down. So this is the kind of problem we are looking at right now. Again, I want to let you guys know, for those of you guys that's part of um uh, uh, the community, the paid members. I will be on Teams. I don't want to forget that. I will be on Teams right after this call. I will be on Teams right after this call. It's gonna be a short one, but we will be there. Um, there you go. That's what I wanted to cover for you guys today, so you guys could see what's going on. Please, guys, be careful, trade carefully. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. We're not going to dwell on it. We're not going to stay on it much, but I just want to show you guys what Bitcoin is doing currently. Um, I was hoping for a bit of a rally on Bitcoin, at least back to 72, based on what it was doing right now. Um, let me see. Lower time frame, not really giving much. I guess you could say it's giving a bit of a funky inverted head and shoulder pattern. Maybe we'll get a bit of a squeeze and see how that plays out. But as of right now, personally, I'm not putting any money in Bitcoin. I'm not doing it. I have no confidence in that whatsoever, and I don't think we are done dropping yet. Unless Bitcoin has showed me there has been a change, I'm not going to just assume there's a change or give it the benefit of the doubt. Not as of right now. It feels like right now it really feels like Bitcoin is broken. I'll be honest with you guys. It feels like Bitcoin is broken. It feels like has been hijacked. Um, when the market is struggling, Bitcoin used to be a safe haven for money, just like gold and like precious metals and I'll say utilities and natural gas and all these things. Bitcoin used to be that. Like whenever the market is a bit shaky, people take out the money, they put it in Bitcoin. Right now, it seems like the whenever there's bad news in the economy or in the market, it affects Bitcoin more than it affects the market, which is a very very strange dynamic. Because when you really look at it, Bitcoin has no correlation, zero correlation with the economy, like zero. Inflation is up. What does that have to do with Bitcoin? But Bitcoin sell off. But things like that happen. But anyway, guys, I'm wishing you guys the absolute best. Unfortunately, for those of us who love trading and trades regularly every single day, tomorrow is a sad day because the market is closed. I understand for those of you guys who do work a 9 to 5, you might think that, hey, I don't know what these people are talking about. Tomorrow is not a happy day because tomorrow we go back to work. Tomorrow, I understand that we've all been there. I'm just speaking for those of us. That's what we do. The fact that we cannot trade tomorrow is a bit of a sad day for us. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to share this video. If you like this video, if you're watching on replay, I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure to comment. Keep commenting, keep liking, keep sharing the video. I can see the shares. I think they're rolling out something called hype points. I don't know exactly how that works. So if anybody can give me some hype points and whatever, or how you can hype a video, I would really appreciate that. That is one thing. I believe I just contacted with those guys. They will have the dubbing done automatically. So if you have people who speak other languages, the video should be translated automatically. That's what I was told by support. The videos will be translated in many different languages: French, Spanish, Mandarin, um, a bunch of other ones. I think they will test it out in the 10 languages, I think, at first. They are doing that. So I was given the okay for that. So that's something YouTube will be doing. So if you do share the video with somebody who speaks a different language and they cannot see the translation, please let me know. I would appreciate that, because that is something that should be done automatically. Including, they should also be adding caption for the videos in case somebody else is watching them. Anyway, just wanted to just like let you guys know what's going on. I have to go, guys. It's been fun. It's always a pleasure. I love doing these things because I love talking about the stock market, and most importantly, I like to help you guys make some money. But if you're not comfortable, you want some help doing this, join the community. Join the community. Come trade with us. I'll give you the signal. I'll let you know what I'm doing and things like that, and you can copy my trade and make some money. Or maybe you wanna trade live and trade futures, right? Which is something that I do live every single day with some members in the community. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one. Peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.